After he had visited your country, John Gunther, the American writer, said that he thought Ghana had one of the greatest opportunities in the history of mankind. Now, would you agree with that?
I do, because this is an opportunity for the African to demonstrate to the world that the African, given the chance, can manage his own affairs.
In the days of the Gold Coast, money was more than coins and currency. It was power, privilege, and access. Banks served the few, and a concept of wealth out of reach for many. From cowries and colonial coins to the first banks and accounts, the financial system in Ghana was designed, but not for everyone. Ghana rises, a new dawn, a new hope, a belief that freedom would bring prosperity, that every Ghanaian would one day own a home, run a business, provide for their family. But the reality has been different for many. Decades have passed, the flag flies high, but many still struggle to manage the very thing that drives our economy, money. From bustling markets to quiet classrooms, from the trotro station to the office desk, the struggle is real. Inflation rises, salaries freeze, dreams are deferred. Many earn, but few understand how to save, invest, or grow their finances. What does financial freedom really mean to the average Ghanaian today?
Financial literacy is a global problem. It's not a Ghanaian thing. Globally, there has been attempts to provide financial literacy, but just like we have the problem in Ghana, it is everywhere.
If you should give a child 200 cedis, who doesn't know anything about finances, who doesn't know about planning, who doesn't know about budgeting, who doesn't know about investing, who doesn't know about saving, definitely that child is just going to blow that 200 away.
It's a word that has been flying around a lot, but to put it into simple terms, financial literacy is the knowledge that we all need as individuals and as groups and organizations, the knowledge, the skills, and the understanding that we need in order to be able to understand money, manage money, and use money wisely.
We are savings. I want go back. I want to make saving. But I say no, I do because no, I there are share ma any there. If you invest, if you more math three no, me no we invest and about more, but who say yes. Yeah.
So the old akwala sana okute ska obehwe ska no so na so ska pair of obehwe so na odi ye kakra nti da bia uton a unim say normal way say na me koto normal na just make me dey for 1 week a me to nyina na me pa me diska na to be nti me to wi na me yi normal nyina sika ne kan ebeka chire ne dey me dey.
We gain income each and every day, and then we are supposed to save some, and the rest we look out for our needs and our wants.
So we asked, not the economists, not the politicians, but the real people. From students to retirees, market women to national service personnel, teachers to hawkers, we asked, what does financial literacy mean to you? And how has money shaped your life?
Okay, my name is Benjamin Amwa. I work here as a senior lecturer and a researcher at the Department of Finance, University of Ghana Business School. I am a PhD holder and I teach undergraduate and postgraduate courses in banking and finance. And I also research in areas like bank management, financial institutions management, financial literacy, retirement planning, climate finance, and efficiency of financial institutions management. So basically, this is what I do here. Financial literacy is a global problem. It's not a Ghanaian thing. Globally, there has been attempts to, provide financial literacy, but just like we have the problem in Ghana, it is everywhere. What is financial literacy? Financial literacy has been defined and explained in so many ways, but the most comprehensive definition of financial literacy is the one provided by the OECD. Right? So the OECD sees financial literacy to be involving 5 things. The first one is what we call awareness. Awareness here means that the individual will have to be financially aware. He needs to be brought into the point where he should know that there are certain things about personal finance that he or she doesn't know. So that is awareness. The awareness was tested. So sometimes you even have to run a test on the person, and then based on the test score, you get to know whether the person is financially aware or not. 2, we talk about knowledge. Individuals must possess financial knowledge. Knowledge about what? Knowledge about financial market, inflation, interest rate, compound, and simple interest. These are the basic knowledge. What the financial market is, the participant on the financial market, and how to interact with the financial market. That is the knowledge. So it's expected that individuals must have this stock of knowledge so that they can make use of it. Then we can talk about the skill. The third one is the skill. The skills is how do you deploy the knowledge that you have acquired. So if you understand inflation, how will you be able to use inflation to inform a financial decision? If you understand compound interest, how will you be able to use compound interest? Simple interest. So these are the skill set that the individual must be able to use. Then we talk about attitude. Attitude is the individual's disposition towards matters relating to finance. Some individuals don't bother so much when it comes to finance. Others are serious when it comes to issues relating to finance. So that is the attitude. Then the last one we can talk about is the behavior. How do you behave when it comes to matters relating to personal finance? Here I'm talking about your risk level. Are you risk averse or you are risk loving? These 5 things, awareness, knowledge, skills, attitude, and behavior, must be used by the individual to improve his or her financial well-being. So if these 5 is used by the individual, then we say that the person is what? Financially literate. So that is per the definition of the OECD. Okay, so as early as possible in the life of any individual. So you may even want to talk about, you can put the individual into age bracket or age blocks. So you can talk about those who are even in primary school. We should be able to provide some form of financial knowledge for these individuals. Then you can talk about those who are in junior high school, senior high school, then universities. In other words, we should be able to provide this vital lifelong knowledge set to individuals. So in terms of age, if possible, as early as we can, we should provide this knowledge set. It may not be in detail as one would have expected, but at least the needed awareness must be created. If you go to schools or primary schools, some of them have money, break time, they buy biscuits, they buy ice cream. That is spending. Are you getting me? So at that level, they have to be introduced about what to buy or what not to buy and how to spend. Basic spending habit from that level. Then as they grow, other knowledge sets can be added on as they go. Okay, so that is a policy level decision that ought to be made, right? Why is this so? I would say it used to be the case. It used to be the case. I'm saying why I would say it used to be the case. But before then, I'll look at the policy level. You know, at the early stage, policymakers are worried about so many knowledge sets that individuals or students must have. And it appears that financial literacy happens to be the last on the block when it comes to knowledge set. It's about reading, it's about mathematics, it's about science, it's about, what you call physical strength and physical abilities. So money and how to use money is overlooked. And like I said earlier on, it is not only a Ghanaian or a Ghana problem. It is across the globe. It is only few countries that have been able to develop what we call financial literacy framework for their countries. The Nordic countries like Finland, like Sweden, maybe UK has done something small in that area, but many countries do not provide that vital knowledge set. So GES not providing it in the past, I'm using the word in the past, is because so many things are of importance to the policymakers than financial literacy. About 2 years ago, NACA is National Curriculum and Assessment Center, Ghana, has started introducing some element of financial literacy in our educational curriculum. So if you get the new SHS Social Studies syllabus, if you go into it, you will see some element of financial literacy in it. It is an attempt to correct the mistake of the past, where almost all of us never benefited from any formal personal financial education in our schools. So I'm hoping and believing that from about next year or next 2 years, JHS, SHS minimum, there will be some form of financial literacy knowledge. It will not be the whole financial literacy, but at least some content will be added to the current content, so that at least before they leave school, they understand savings, they understand budgeting, they understand why they need to plan for retirement, and they understand something about insurance, because these are the big major blocks in financial literacy. Once they are able to do that, they can easily progress and then be able to make use of the financial market. So going forward, I think Ghana is going to be the few countries in the world that has introduced some element of financial literacy in its formal educational curriculum for students. Okay, so directly, students have not come to me with personal finance issues, but I've had the privilege of teaching investment, right? And in investment class, as we go through some of the topics, students bring their concerns in terms of what to invest, what not to invest, where to use money, where not to use money, etc., etc. So through that series of lectures, I have been able to identify some of the areas that poses challenge to students. And these are even students who are reading investment as a course. So if you don't subscribe to that particular course, we will not even meet to even interact. Yes, so I'll call these are the privileged few who sit in that particular group. There are colleagues who are reading other programs. If they do not join other associations that are making an opportunity to learn some of these lifelong skills, they may end up graduating from the university. And just like many people were not fortunate to be given some skill set in personal money management, they will have to learn the hard way through mistakes and errors that they will make in spending money, which may be too late because by that time the harm may have been done. But they may have to learn through the hard way because they may not have had individuals who may have mentored them or provide some guidance as to what to do with the financial resources that they have. Financial independence means that you have been able to build enough financial resources that you can stop working, and then the asset that you have acquired will be working for you. That is what we mean by financial independence. So anytime you have to work to be able to survive, it means that you are not financially what? Independent. It's as simple as that. To be financially independent means that you must own what we call cash generating assets. That has got nothing to do whether you are in school or not. It's our ownership of assets. And ownership of assets will come in two main forms. You either go into entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur, where you own a business. And the business is what will be generating the cash flows for you. So business ownership is one aspect of being financially independent. Or in what we all know and like we already discussed and described, go to school, acquire the knowledge, and then when you acquire relevant knowledge, a prospective employer will then employ you, employ your services, and then pay for your services at the end of every month. So at the end of the month, when you are paid your salary, you have exchanged your knowledge for the income. So that becomes your part of what? Building your financial independence. But the sad one with that sad aspect is that because it is you, your person, which is working, it means that anytime your person stops working, you don't have access to money. That is it. So what it means is that we must find a way of separating our person from the ability to generate income. And that is where you either build a business, which is entrepreneurship, or you invest in financial products. Yeah. For a tertiary level, it must be for the tertiary level, there must be a national policy through GTEC. GTEC is Ghana Tertiary Education Council, to propose or force the university to consider that, because each university is independent and each university has been set up by an act that defines its core mandate. So all the universities that we have, so the public ones, they all have their mandate, and the mandate defines the courses that they can run. And each course you see the university being mounting has been approved by GTEC. So if there is a course or a program like financial literacy, which is a course, then it must either come from the Ministry of Education to more or less morally sway the universities to consider it, because each course or idea that is generated comes with resources that must be made available to the universities. As you know, the universities are resource constrained, so no university will just come and say, I want to financial literacy, unless maybe the resources are made available, both financial resources to pay for faculty members who will be taxed to teach, space on the timetables to make room for financial literacy, and then also resources in terms of teaching and learning materials to support. It is when these are made available that the universities may easily consider it. There's no mystery about money. Money is just like any other resource that we have, like water, like air, like land. Money is just like that. But it's about how you make the best use out of the money that you come into contact with. Here, how do you get the money? If you're a student, it's about knowledge that you are going to acquire. The knowledge that you are going to acquire is to provide you with the skill set so you become attractive to a prospective employer. The employer now employs you, you get a job, and then you help the employer solve a problem. And as you solve the problem, you are paid for the solution that you provide. That is how come you make money.
My name is Janet Mawena Susu. I'm a counselor at New Century Technical Institute. Yeah, I do purely counseling. I practice. I don't really teach. I do other form of teaching, but not classroom teaching. But then once we are impacting knowledge, it's all over. So every teaching be teaching, right? Yes, in as much as we haven't done any design program for finances to be taught in school, I in particular believe and think that yes, it should be taught in school. Because if we are able to teach our kids, our children about financial literacy now, then it goes a long way to help them, even to prevent future risk. Now, if you should give a child 200 cedis who doesn't know anything about finances, who doesn't know about planning, who doesn't know about budgeting, who doesn't know about investing, who doesn't know about saving, definitely that child is just going to blow that 200 away. So in the future, after spending all these things today, forgetting that there is tomorrow he or she will come back to school, or he or she might need something to buy in school, but because the person doesn't have any idea about finances or financial literacy, well, the person spends the money and it ends there. But the person, I think that, and I believe strongly that it should be taught in school. I think just last week, I was talking to someone about a child who doesn't have help. But this child I'm talking about is in phase 3. We call it Form 3 of phase 3, which is about writing his exam. But I've not been able to pay his fees. It means that the child is not going to write his exams. But if this child should have any idea about finances, when the child was in Form 1, any money that child would be given, he would have saved some. When they vacate, they go on attachment. And I'm sure that some of them, they pay them, although it's not a paid work. They are just there to do a practical aspect of whatever what they are doing there. But I'm sure that they pay some of them. And if the person should know about financial literacy or about saving, then that child should be able to say something. But because they don't have any idea at all on this, when they get it, they spend it. And you come back that you need this and that. Sometimes I do help them backdoor without the knowledge of the principal or any other person. I can fall on 1 or 2 colleagues and then tell them that this child needs a help. If we can help, we will. But I believe that if this child had an idea or has any idea about how to go about expenditure and expenses, I'm not sure that the child will reach this stage of asking for money and so on and so forth. You see, I believe that the Ghana Education Service deliberately might have a reason for not doing that. Probably they presume that if I should teach a child how to save money, or to teach a child about investment, or to teach a child about spending, right now, the child will be eager to make money. Let me give you this example. If I should give my son or my daughter a saving box, or susu box like we call it, and I'm like, this box is meant for saving. If I give you money and you don't spend, or make sure that you put the rest in here. If someone gives you money, make sure you put in here, don't go and spend it. The thought of becoming rich, because the child knows that now my mom or my dad has given me a box to save. So now me too, I am going to save. So any money at all that I get, I'll put it in the box. So even if the money is not for the child in the house and the child sees it, he will take it. I'm going to put it in my box, just to become rich or just to be able to save. But that could have been done in a more better or refined way if they should add guidelines, because I will feel if my child becomes a thief in the future just because I ask him or her to be saving money. But I will never feel if I should direct or guide the child that, look, this box is yours. When you get money, keep it in it. But when you see money that does not belong to you, don't take it. Then you are guiding the child to save. Well, I think that they have to just try as much as possible to inculcate the subject into it. They should teach the students about entrepreneurship. If you are teaching someone about entrepreneurship, definitely you are going to teach the person how to save. Unless the teachers who are teaching the entrepreneurship themselves doesn't have any idea about finances. Well, it could be, I don't do that, so I can't really speak much on that, but it could be that the teacher teaches only entrepreneurship but doesn't know about financial literacy, anything about finances. And other subjects, like I said earlier on, that they can put them into it. And also, they shouldn't forget that or say that they are kids, they don't need it now. And that if we educate them now, it will lead them to that, they'll become this, they'll become that. No, they should see that this is our future leader to prevent the future risk. So they need to know. If you don't train the child today about how to save, like I said, the child will get all the money that you get today, spend it, and tomorrow run to you for money.
I'm Mary Popachevo. I'm in phase 2 now, fashion and designing. Fashion and designing is just about how well you groom yourself from head to toe. Fashion is from head to toe, your clothing to your shoes. Financial literacy, yes, but little.
So just tell me what you hear about.
So far, I know that we are supposed to we gain income each and every day, and then we are supposed to save some, and the rest we look out for our needs and our wants. When someone gives me money, to me, I would like to save some and then use the rest for my needs. Thank you very much for the question. So, my daddy had already educated me earlier, on saving, how to save, and how to make budgets. If you give me 100 cedis, I'll be realistic here. So I need money for my practicals as of now. I'm going to save 30% of that 100 cedis, which is 30 Ghana cedis, and use the rest 70 cedis for my practical works. Yes, please. I'll be really happy if you open a bank account for me, because I think it will save me sometimes. Although I talk about financial discipline, sometimes we are still tempted to go for the money. So I'll say it will save me from going for the money. Yes, please. And additionally, I would say sometimes thieves come around to steal our money, fire outbreaks and the rest. But when I save my money at the bank, and then even if there's a fire outbreak at the bank, my money will still be safe. Yes.
My name is Ghanaian Boche, 17 years. I'm in fashion phase 2 research. I like fashion because every event, everything is fashion nowadays. Our costume, appearance, hair, accessories, everything. So I like it. Basically, it is the knowledge and I think how you manage your money. or the knowledge you have about how to spend or how to budget your money. When I was in basic school, it was like a public education and they came to teach us. Sort of. So maybe how much I need, what I need, maybe food, maybe 20 cedi will take food, 20, maybe I'll save 20, and the 10 maybe donate because I like donation. I think we would be literate financially because knowing how to spend, manage, or how to save can be a very essential because money is part of us, so you must learn how to manage it and manage it very well. I think being financially literate helps a lot because squandering your money now can come back to bite very hard in the future. So knowing how to manage and spend the money on is very, very essential.
The friend, Mr. Asari John. Oh, yes. Me savings. Eco Bank. I want to me CV. But I said no, I job because no, I they are share any idea. Be a invest. Be more math 3 no me no we invest and about who so we SS. Gumano, yes, Casamano, Shada, and Yadia, where you be this up, but management and managing a cacra because as I is Ghana, Yanska some chance in ye. That's always a Ghana, no, you may be a Juma, and one is over here. To me, one I would manage or near my cacra. Or top money sem and Quadano and any amount to any idea, a bushing some so. Oh, of late now, we is it car bank or I mean car bank. Baha maybe no money be chire bi ni ade a fasele okay ya but apart from that said who obi asa so ma be educate here said the mama be village me family me target enti o ma na me ko me village na mako ye ntutu ya kakra na masan baba me plans am wo ye farm yeah no na me pe because no me ye titi me wakura se e ho ne wo me e ho ne titi me asa na yenyi nyina e bank e be start se struggle enti ene de me project no se me ye farm ba o miss at me retirement time no me kwa e farm. Me professional driver. Me a driver. So driver now my me one experience be bring. You know, me say aside the farming, you know, me transporter. Me I run it.
That is going to the transport.
Yeah, that's right. Industry. Yeah, transport industry. I didn't so many jobs. And this no so me to attach my farming work na me pay. Yeah, me pay.
From Obaya.
Actually, me turn sponge work and tomato. Started here, the many 14 years. To the be our buy, to the bin to a market in Fasa. A season. Seminar in case of say a day, me to say 100 cedi profit. I'm the 50 market sooner. I spend the 50 now. Advance one day. We are time be a person who could be a choir Sabeka. Business in the because we are also profit now being a bit media the person there. Go at war on your BBA. San so the Pesca after BBA sends Winya, but so we be out on BB Kakra. Also at the end of the day, no profit, BBA, BB here, a bit media there. At all.
The Agia original one. No size. Me ton so bro.
Wow.
Oh, we start here. 1 year. Oh, na me ton ice cream ke o da kuma na me che. Any moto bi enim original Agia original. And I made a back crack. They say they so bro na me ton.
Agia original number 1 no size.
No size.
Wow. The Agia so below me since they are higher packing for barbecue trim near the start a business.
Oh, business no dear. Me ka say enya na na boa.
Discuss that.
Emba bebre nso say the eba no. E de nyame ase. Irade hu ye mobo no man mbrusa.
Senya ya kasa se. Senya your business no we dey effort the and yen paso aminyani and e ka ma boni start ben na wo dane.
So dey me dane no. Akwa se akwala wa wo no foforo. So dey o titi akwala. Sana okute sika. Obehwe sika no so na so scam pair of. Obehwe so na odi ye kakra. Nti da bia woton a. Unim say normal we say na me koto normal ne dos met me dey for 1 week a. Me to nyina na me pa me scanner to baby. Nti me to wi na me yi normal ni nyina sika ne kan ebe ka chire ne dey me dey.
Afternoon, how are you doing?
I'm good by the grace of God.
I'm Delali from YetVerse Media, and you are?
Belinda from Ayalolo.
So please, what do you do?
Please, I'm a driver.
Wow, that's so great. So how long have you been in this driving?
I'm not up to a year.
Wow, that's good. So it means you had that you were working before you came?
Yes, please.
So what work were you doing?
It was just like other companies, but it wasn't driving. Yes, please. I think it's about how to manage your finance. I mean, like for now, I don't receive monthly salary. But let's say like a week when they give me my salary, like tabletop, I planned like the one I will be using for the following week. And then let's assume if it is 300 a week, I'll plan like, let's say there are 5, let's say from Monday to Friday, we work from Monday to Friday. So I take 250 down for my next week. Then the 50 Ghana cedis that is left, I will save it.
My name is Dr. Arismodose Granting. I'm a general and pediatric radiologist. I work at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital in Accra Ridge. I also manage a small business run medical imaging and health systems. It's a word that has been flying around a lot, but to put it into simple terms, financial literacy is the knowledge that we all need as individuals and as groups and organizations, the knowledge, the skills, and the understanding that we need in order to be able to understand money, manage money, and use money wisely in terms of your making money, saving it, spending it, budgeting for it, investing in it so that you get the most out of it. And then a few times you may go into debt. Every once in a while you may need to spend more than you have, so you have to borrow. How you manage all that. So basically how to manage money so that it works well for you. For me personally, in the past 5 years or so that I've been managing my own business, but I think it's practically been like that all my life, but in business specifically, I won't say I have ever made profits yet, and it is simply because the kind of vision I have for my life and for my business is so big that every time what I get goes back into my life, goes back into my business. And so I put all my resources, I live very minimally, I spend the little I can on my expenses and that of my family. And the rest is reinvested back into my life and into my business. And so for now, I will not say I have declared profit. I'm still growing. But I believe that in that same way, for every organization or for every individual, you need to really invest a lot of what you are making back into making your life better, because your profit is like a seed. If in Ghana, when you say profit, people will think that it's money that you can spend. And so in that context, most of what you get should go back into growing your business or into new ventures, so that at every point in time, you are having more money. The money must give birth. When it gives birth, then you spend a little of it, and then you reinvest what has been given birth to. And that is how I've managed my life, and I think it has helped me. The truth is that for most of us, everything we know, somebody taught you. You hear it from somebody, you read from a book, you watch it in the video. And so I think I wasn't born this way. Everything I know, I have learned from people in different ways. Of course, as individuals, we have natural tendencies and temperaments that make certain things easier for us. And I think that for me, being a choleric has helped me greatly in how I manage my life, my finances, and everything else. But largely, everything I know, I learned from people who have gone ahead of me. Well, several, but the one that comes to mind very quickly and very easily is, so about a couple of years ago, I took a personal loan to put into my business, okay? And I was supposed to pay back. I took a loan from the bank. You know, Ghana loans in Ghana banks and their outrageous interest rates. So I took a loan for 2 years. And I was paying every month. I was paying more than half of my salary was going to servicing that loan. And it was for 3 years. So and after I paid for 18 months, I decided that I wanted a statement to know how much I had paid and then to plan towards repaying it. And when the statement came, I realized that although I had paid half of the time for servicing that loan, what I had left to pay was more than half the amount, and what I had already paid was almost the amount, about twice almost the amount that I took. And I realized that, wow, so in the 3 years, I was going to pay nothing more than twice the amount I took. And I was like, if I had done this math earlier, what I would probably have done was that immediately I took the loan for what I needed it for. I'll put everything else I needed to do on hold. Anything that would not generate money that quickly compared to the loan, I would have put it on hold and paid off that loan so that I would minimize the amount of interest I paid on the loan. And it taught me a big lesson. I told myself that unless it is absolutely necessary, I'm not going to take a loan. And if I do, I should pay it back in the shortest possible time. If I can do without taking the loan, I would. Yeah, I get asked this question a lot, and there are a lot of young people out there with the same question. And I remember the last time I was asked, I used my own experience. Sometimes when you want to start a business, the kind of business you want to start, the kind of capital you need, you will not have it. And like I said, loans can be really expensive. And when you are at that place, you may need to become your own capital. How do I mean? When I started my small business, I didn't have enough staff, I did not have enough money. And so there were times when I was the person doing my own scan, I was the person being the front desk receptionist, I was the person being the cleaner, and I was doing a lot of things that I should have hired people to pay. I could not afford, and so I did them myself. And gradually, as the business grew, then I was able to have enough money to pay people to do some of these things. So you don't need to get it all figured out. You don't need to start big. You can start when all your capital is you, your senses, your hands, your legs, your brain, and then you go from there. Don't wait till you have everything. Just you and the knowledge you have and the skills you have is enough. Your integrity, the fact that people can trust you to give you money or to give you goods, or they can trust that when you say that you deliver, you deliver. These are the things you need. Sometimes the capital is you, your skills, and your integrity. And you can always make money from there.
Their voices echo a common truth. Financial literacy isn't just a school subject. It's survival, it's peace of mind. It's the difference between being stuck and moving forward. But where do we go from here? Introducing YetVerse, a financial empowerment movement. We're on a mission to help Ghanaians take control of their money, one step at a time. Through workshops, mentorships, digital tools, and community initiatives, YetVerse is changing the way we talk about money and, more importantly, how we manage it. Financial freedom isn't a dream, it's a journey, and it begins with knowledge, intention, and action. Every cedi you earn, every decision you make can shape your future.
If the youth are able to come into this realization, they will work for money, and once they get the money, they will make good use of the money. And don't forget, they also have to be generous and also help others who may not be privileged as they are by helping them with a little that God will bless them with. And I guess the world will be a better place for all of us. Thank you.
Financial literacy is good. It's just about knowing your financial worth. So everybody needs it to help you budget your finances and manage your finances very well. Thank you very much.
I think being financially literate helps a lot because squandering your money now can come back to bite very hard in the future.
I'd like to urge all my mates that saving is very important. When you save, it saves you from future problems. For instance, when you need something in the future, we are students, although our parents are supposed to take care of us, sometimes they are financially handicapped that we would have to, those little that we save, we would have to use it to support ourselves during those crises.
The American say, so far so good. nipa de say e na the more o ye adwuma wo ko anim no na o visions bebre wo anim say o dachi o be say we ntu so why ho say o person o ye bi a o de be boa wa braba at least o sakasika o say hu kwan o ba fa so a o be toto o sika sem em say no na eno na futu a me de be me obia
de omo nya adwuma na omo ti fie de ende mwa obia nti ese omo nyina omo ma yan nkambo na yan sori en pe adwuma bi nye enu mo be boa esin ati fie ena obi o wa okuta sika atoto mito we e adwuma hu se adwuma na eba mito anu so size ka nti ni nyina ese ejai na yembo aboa esika na emfanya pa
business ni dey because so ya also profit na obenya no betimi dey aye the opposite we dey but onye bibia sa no so dey pesca ye ato bibia say no so wonya but say we bibia auto bibi kakra also at the end of the day no profit no pe bibia bibi here ma betimi dey aye dey ato.
At YetVerse, we believe in your potential to learn, to grow, to thrive. So join us and let's build a financially confident Ghana together.